Luis con Gabby Vela of Deutschland.
En las Olimpiadas, pues, por lo menos...
Stay healthy, be confident, be motivated.
Per turno negli Olimpici fare una grandissima scrittrice di ginnastica. Ho studiato sopra gli Olimpici a Barcellona. And I'm working for the Birmingham Gold in Barcelona.
1976, the first American Cup, and a springboard to stardom for a girl named Nadia. 1984, another relative unknown serves notice. She is Mary Lou. Their championship link, Coach Bella Caroli, whose other American Cup winners, Julianne McNamara, Christy Phillips, and Phoebe Mills. And the wily Caroli searches for more. The first American Cup was also a pre-Olympic showcase for U.S. champion Bart Conner. Kurt Thomas followed. Then Peter Vidmar. And Tim Daggett. 1991, chasing the dream, American Trent Demas. German Andreas Becker. UCLA's Chris Waller. USSR's Andre Kahn. Here from Beijing, Jean Shaw. Moscow sends Ludmila Stopchataya. And from Houston, young Americans, Betty Okino. And defending champion, Kim Zmeskal. And the world's elite athletes compete in a pre-Olympic international test of gymnastic talent. It's the 16th annual McDonald's America Cup. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Central Florida with the news in the Middle East. Of course, if anything breaks in the Persian Gulf, we will switch you immediately to NBC News for those reports. But first, let us welcome you to gymnastics, and this being the most prestigious, the most important international gymnastics meet held in the United States every year. And has it ever foreshadowed those that we would cheer in the Olympic Games going all the way back to the first American Cup when Nadia Comaneci and Bart Conner were the winners? And it includes many big names in gymnastics the last decade and a half, including my partners today, Julianne McNamara and Tim Daggett. They both won the American Cup. They both went on, of course, to win gold medals in the 1984 Olympic Games. And Julianne, first let's go to the women. Bella Caroli, he seems to produce star after star. He has the top two ladies in this competition. There were 1-2 after the preliminaries last night, Zmeskal and Okino, and they're 1-2, but in reverse order today. They're so much alike, and yet they're delightfully different.
That's right, and that's what's so exciting. We have Kim Zmeskal, the defending champion, who is more strong and compact, but then we have Betty Okino, who's much more elegant, longer lines, but also very strong, and that's what makes it so exciting. It's a real showdown.
So Zmeskal's a Mary Lou Retton type, and Okino's more of the McNamara line, and Okino announced early today in this competition, as we report to you live from Orlando, Florida, that she was serious about winning the top prize. Here is her first rotation, the vault, and it's the first perfect 10 in this young woman's career.
And boy, what a vault she did. This is a true coming out. Look at the height and the distance and a great landing. That is a 10.
And we'll take another look as Okino 5'1", and she looks more like she's 5'9".
She does. With those long arms, long legs. She's extended. She can look 6 feet tall. Again, notice the height off the horse and the distance and an incredible landing. Great job.
And from overhead, you see it's just as perfect.
Definitely. The landing, I think, was key for her. If she hadn't stuck with the landing, she wouldn't have gotten that 10. And look at Bella. Boy, is he happy.
Caroli has his fist full of great young talent again with Okino, who just shot like a rocket into the international scene as a top gymnast in the last year. And, of course, his other Kim Zmeskal, who was the one favored to win this championship. She is the defending champion. Tim Daggett, we go to the men now. And we're looking for the man that might be up on a podium in Barcelona a year from now. And you were all smiles about a young guy from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
That's right, Trent Demas. He certainly has the momentum, and that is key in the sport of gymnastics. He has slashed his way through this competition thus far. He's had so many successful competitions dating back to last year's national championships, and then a super successful competition at the Goodwill Games. After that competition was over this summer, he said, I have 2 years before the Olympic Games. I'll be faster, quicker, stronger, and I'm going to compete with the Soviets. Speaking of the Soviets, we thought them to figure prominently here. However, right off of the bat, the Soviet, Andrei Khan, ran into some major problems on the pommel horse. Let's take a look. His body just gets a little bit off balance here. His shoulders are off over the pommel horse, and of course, a disaster right there. He did that one more time in the exercise, taking him out.
He wasn't alone.
That's right, Andres Vecker. He is a star, actually a silver medalist on this event in the World Championships. Shoulders completely off balance, and another disaster. Chris Waller, probably America's premier gymnast on this event, ran into a similar disaster right here.
And Trent Demas continues to perform superbly. He is either won or tied for the lead in the first 4 rotations. Well, the sport of gymnastics has joined the 20th century in terms of athletic economics, and this is a very important championship because, well, it's historically significant for the dollars involved. Let's go down to Bob for this report.
All right, Dick Enberg, thank you very much. The magic word in sports these days is money, and this meet is no exception. Believe it or not, for the first time in U.S. gymnastics history, prize money is being awarded today. Now, nobody's going to get rich here in Orlando this weekend. About $38,000 in all up for grabs. The winners, both the men's and the female all-around, will pocket about $5,000. And I guess in the megabucks world of pitchers like Roger Clemens and tennis star Steffi Graf, this is merely lunch money. But let's face it, folks, it's a start, it's a block, it's a springboard to what they hope is bigger and better things here in the sport of gymnastics. To get it up to speed with other Olympic sports like this one, a couple of important points. All the money the American athletes earn this weekend, absolutely, positively, no holds barred, must go in a trust fund. If they were to take the cash up front this weekend, they would be gone, eliminated from future tournaments, even the Olympic Games. And once that trust fund is established, the 4 Americans cannot compete in NCAA gymnastics meets. That's the only distinction. So again, this gymnastics sport trying to get up to speed with some of the other high-profile events. Let's go to Dick Enberg. Dick?
All right, Bob, great to have you with us. We'll be back with you for direct reports. Let's look at the leaders after 4 rotations, 4 of the 6 for the men. That includes the pommel horse free exercise, the rings and vault, and you see Trent Demas with a sizable lead of 5/10 over Miguel Rubio in third. Zhonglang of China is second, and Chris Waller of USA is fourth. And for the women, they've completed 2 of the 4 rotations, the vault and the uneven bars. As you look at Trent Demas, the leader of the men, and the ladies leaders, well, Betty Aquino, she leads over her teammate Kim Semesko, both from Caroli's Houston training camp. Zhang Xia of China is third, and the Soviet is fourth, and we'll return with live action in a moment. We're in the 5th rotation of the 6 for men and the 3rd of 4 for the women, which means we go to the balance beam. And this is the top gymnast in China. She's just 15 years old, as you can see.
And boy, she has something to prove today. She had a really rough competition yesterday, but she's looking real strong in warm-ups today. And in her first 2 events, she's in 3rd place coming into this rotation. She's going to mount with a press to front walkover. This is a fairly basic skill, and most of the gymnasts these days are doing easier mounts to get up on the beam. You're not seeing the more difficult mounts that you used to. This is a big skill for her also, a flip-flop layout. She needs to be right over the top. Up. She wasn't. That's a big mistake. There's a 5/10 deduction there. That could hurt her in the all-round standings. The Chinese are known for their elegance, though, and on this event and their fluidness on the bars, that's what's brought them into a world power in gymnastics. The next move she's thinking about now, in between her jumps, is a flip-flop swing down. And this is one of those moves that can hurt if you're a little bit off. right over the top. Well done.
Very mindful of Yelena Shushanova, the Olympic champion in Seoul, Korea.
Yes, very beautiful movements, very fluid. You don't see many stops, and she's setting up here for a round-off double back dismount. She's going to really need to nail the landing. Oh, there's another big deduction. She's really had a rough competition here.
A troubled effort for Zhang Xia. She's from the Shandong province, a rural area, north-central China.
This is where her problems began. She flip-flop layout into a layout, and she was just completely off the center. Her hips were out of line. And she continued her problem with her dismount, unfortunately. Round-off double back. She actually had pretty good height, but just pulled it around, too much rotation.
So 2 major errors for Zhang Xia, which will undoubtedly take a bite out of her solid position in 3rd place behind the 2 American girls. A reminder that all the scores last night in the preliminaries are a race. They determine only the final 8 competitors, and they start fresh today. And that young woman, Kim Zemeskel, was the winner after last night's preliminaries, but they start fresh, each athlete with a clean slate, and now she's trying to catch Betty Okino, her teammate with the Carolis, and there's Okino, who is currently in the lead at the halfway mark.
They're definitely putting a lot of pressure on each other, and I guess this is what we need in American gymnastics. We need 2 girls, we need the depth, we need people to push each other, and that's what they're able to do to each other.
Only an 8.525 for Zhang Xia. And that will take us to the men's parallel bars and Canadian champion Curtis Hibbert.
Well, this is one of Curtis's stronger events. He's gotten through the pommel horse, and he struggled there. A very difficult giant swing. He, of course, Canada's most famous gymnast, won a silver medal on the next event, high bar, in the '87 World Championships. Working very well. A little bit of an unorthodox style in his gymnastics. Doesn't do all the traditional skills, and he's working very well. Double pike. Oh, just a little bit forward on that dismount. Of course, has to take that step forward.
This enthusiastic crowd cheers the 25-year-old native of Toronto, Curtis Hibbert. And we'll return to Orlando live for the continuation of the 1991 American Cup.
Before they could walk.
Betty Okino.
And this is a great event for Betty. It's also a great position for her to be in. She's got Kim Zemeskel chasing her, but if Betty can hit this beam routine, I think it can really set her up in a great position to win this competition. She's going to start off with the same mount that we saw Zhang Xia do. Press to a handstand and to a front walkover. She just wants to get up on that beam. The critical move for her coming up is a flip-flop layout, and she's going to need to stay right on this.
Is there a disadvantage being taller on the beam?
Actually, I think it's an advantage with her long lines. It's very beautiful. Here it is, layout. Beautiful. She is so square over that beam and so tight. I think what's more impressive about Betty is a move that she's going to show right here. She's been doing a double turn right there. Beautiful. That is as difficult as most of the tumbling moves that they do. She also does a triple turn, which is being called by some people the Aquino. A nice straddle planche.
It doesn't hurt to have the crowd on your side like that, huh, Julianne?
Definitely not. And she's setting up for her dismount here. It's a back handspring into a double back dismount. Very difficult.
A little better than all right. Betty Aquino, she should hold her lead.
And this is why Betty is so good on this event. Watch this. Layout right into immediate layout. It is so difficult. You cannot be 1 inch out of line. And this is the move I was talking about. A double turn. right here. Look at that. It's so small, that beam, and boy, she's right on there.
Working on that 4-inch frame, that platform.